not me. You know, I want when they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up. The whole thing about the album, about the Special Olympics, everybody need a little something and they to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle, and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it, and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. If there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. If they earned it, then I think that that's good, and I think that they deserve it. But even if you earned it, you still owe. Because look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel guilty walking by somebody. I got to give them some mail. And if I know I got $3,000 in my pocket, I feel like it's wrong to give that person a quarter or $1. It's wrong. Only you know what you got in your pocket. And that's wrong. No matter what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But, I mean, you got. You understand? And we all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad. So since it's not about if you good or you bad, we know that because he don't mean he was bad.
He was such a talented actor, too. And he had a thirst to learn. And, you know, I did know he was a poet, really, you know, because that's what he was. And then he told the story of how, you know, they tried to kill him before in New York. And it was hysterical the way he told it, but it was like for real. And then 6 months later, he would, you know, he got killed. And that one really hit me hard. It really did.
Why is that?
He had so much to give the world. He really did. He was about a, you know, he would have wound up being such a uniter of people. He really was. Because you could not put him in a hole or a box or part of that group or this group. He was like, you know, he would have, what could have been?
We are here outside the MGM Grand Arena area. Tupac Shakur was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting on September 7th, 1996 at around 11:15 p.m. after leaving MGM Grand from attending a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon. Shakur was also in Vegas with his fiancée at the time. I believe you pronounced that Khadija Jones, and some other cousins and friends. At around 8:30 p.m. is when Shakur and Knight took their seat inside the MGM Grand Arena. Tyson won in less than 2 minutes in a first-round knockout and taking Seldon's heavyweight title. And it was after the fight, Tyson's fight, when the fight broke out in the area we're about to go to now, with a group that included Dwayne Davis and his nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, who are always the prime suspects in the shooting and killing of famous rapper Tupac Shakur. All right, this is the area right here, I believe. They actually are now blocking it off from It's the marketplace area they had here, so it's gonna look a little different. It usually wraps all the way around. But this is the area where, just before 9 p.m. in the hotel and casino area, Shakur and Knight and their entourage got into a fight with the group that included, if I say some names wrong, you know, forgive me, or if I get anything wrong, forgive me, but Dwayne Davis and his nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, with who Tupac had issues with previously. Why did they jump Anderson? Payback for Southside Compton Cribs beating up a member of the rival Bloods gang in California. They sold a death row chain that Suge Knight claimed was like taking the crown. So I want to say it was like right around this area over here. All right, we are here at the corner of Koval and Flamingo. This is where the shooting happened. I want to say they were going this way, because I did remember I heard that they swung around and then they went back on the strip. And they were actually pulled over shortly before the shooting for playing their music too loud and not having license plates. The officer found the plates in the trunk of Knight's car and then let them go without a citation. So before the shooting, they did stop at the Luxor and also a house that Knight owned, I believe. And they were going to make an appearance at Club 662, which Knight owned, which I did go there. That clip will be after this one. When this happened, he was in a black BMW sedan with Suge Knight driving, who was the head of his record label, Death Row Records. A lifelong friend of Tupac, who was in a car behind them, said some woman drove up to the passenger side. Shakur began talking to them, but he couldn't hear what he was saying. He assumed that he was about to invite them to the club that they were going to perform at. So this is when a white Cadillac quietly pulled up alongside them. This is Davis, who was in the car, wrote in a memoir that he was one of the men in the car and he was sitting in the passenger seat and handed the gun to one of the men in the black, who I believe was Anderson. After the ladies pulled off, they began shooting. The shooter fired more than a dozen rounds, and Shakur was hit 4 times. I believe it was 2 to the chest. Knight was grazed in the head, but only had minor injuries. So after the shooting, Suge Knight and the car Tupac was in went down Flamingo and then made a left on the strip heading towards Harmon and spun out at the intersection of Harmon and Las Vegas Strip. So no, Club 62 was opened as a private nightclub that required appointments. Davis said that him, Brown, Smith, and Anderson, these were all the guys in the car, before the shooting happened, went to Club 662 and waited for Tupac and Shakur there, but got tired of waiting, then went out to go seek them out. Knight is currently in jail with a 28-year sentence for manslaughter in an unrelated California case.
I can't explain why I shine and no one else shine. I think everybody shines. And they have the reason I sell 6 million records, the reason I can go to jail and come out without a scratch, the reason I can walk around, the reason I am who I am today is because I can look directly into my face and find my soul. It's there. It's not sold. I didn't sell it. It's still within me. I still feel it. My heart is still connected to my body.
So we are here at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon. Flamingo is down that way. So Tupac, Suge Knight drove down this way, and I believe they swerved out somewhere over here. Now, I believe his name was Chris Carroll, I think it's Carroll, retired Metro officer, was first on scene. He asked Tupac who shot him. He said Tupac looked at him. He was trying to catch his breath. And he basically said F you back to him, then passed out. He is believed to be the last man to hear Tupac's voice. Police ordered everyone out of the car. He opened the passenger door. Tupac basically tumbled out of the car. And this all happened right here. It's amazing they drove down so decent. I mean, not too crazy, but down Flamingo, got to over here. And this is where he was then taken to the hospital.
What's up?
All right, we are here outside of looks like it's called Hamburger Mary's, Las Vegas Bar and Grill. But at one point, this was Club 662. And it was run by and owned by Suge Knight. And this was the club that Tupac was supposed to perform at the night he died. Club 662 was opened as a private nightclub that required appointments. The club's name was chosen because the numbers on the telephone keypad spelled out MOB, which stood for Members of Bloods. So this is basically where Tupac and Suge Knight were going to end up after the fight at MGM Grand with Tyson. I know they went to Luxor beforehand. And then it was said that right before the shooting happened, Tupac was out his window or sunroof or whatnot, possibly trying to get some girls and another car, I believe, to come to this nightclub, and he was going to perform here. Anderson and all of them were waiting for him here. This was after Tupac and Suge Knight jumped him at MGM Grand. So after they got tired of waiting for him here, they pulled out and went back towards the strip. This is Flamingo, so they just went straight down here, and eventually you hit Koval. So this is the University Medical Center. This is the hospital that Tupac was brought to. He was shot 4 times. He was listed in critical condition, and I believe he was in a medically induced coma. He died on September 13th, 1996. It was around 4 p.m. In July 2023, police raided a home connected to Davis. They collected multiple computers, a mobile phone, a Vibe magazine that featured Tupac, 40 caliber bullets, etc. 2018, Davis received a terminal cancer diagnosis featured in BET Network documentary Death Row Chronicles, and he admitted being in the passenger seat. He said the car was driven by Brown and Smith, and Anderson was in the back seat. And he was in the front, and Davis was in the front passenger seat. Hours later, prosecutors announced in court that a Nevada grand jury has indicted him on 1 count of murder with a deadly weapon. Davis is now being held at the Clark County Detention Center, which is right in front of us. There is now an active fundraiser going on to post his $750,000 bail while he awaits trial. He could end up on house arrest, but who knows, the wait's down the line.
We look at death from the selfish side, like, you know, that guy died. Oh, it's so sad. Why is it sad? He's away from all of this bad stuff that's here on earth. I mean, at the worst, he's just somewhere quiet, nothing. At best, he's an angel, or he's at the next existence, or he's a spirit somewhere, you know. What is so bad about that? It's only bad for the people who he left, because you guys are mad. That's like some crab in the bucket type stuff. I mean, it's harsh analogy, but that's what it's like, though.